Your dog doesn't think of you as their owner. They don't think of you as the person who feeds them, walks them, or lets them sleep on the couch. They think of you as something far more profound than that. And the moment you understand what's actually happening inside your dog's mind when they look at you won't just feel like a better owner. You'll feel like a different person entirely. Because the relationship your dog has built with you isn't based on dependency. It isn't based on habit. It's based on something so deeply biological, so emotionally complex, that scientists who study human parent-child attachment have started using dogs to understand it better. There are 7 signs that reveal your dog doesn't see you as a provider, a companion, or even a best friend. They see you as their parent. And sign number 4 is the one that's going to stop you mid-scroll, because it happens every single day, and you've probably never once recognized it for what it truly is. Let's begin. Sign 1. They look to you before they react to anything. Have you ever noticed that before your dog responds to something scary, exciting, or unfamiliar, they look at you first? A stranger walks in, your dog glances at you. A loud noise outside, your dog looks at your face. A new dog approaches at the park. Before they decide how to react, they check your expression. Most people think this is just curiosity. It isn't. This behavior has a name in developmental psychology. It's called social referencing. And until recently, scientists believed it was something only human infants did. A groundbreaking study published in Animal Cognition found that dogs use social referencing in a way that is nearly identical to children between 10 and 12 months old. Before acting in an uncertain situation, they look to their primary attachment figure to decide whether the world is safe. That figure is you. Your dog isn't just looking at you. They're asking you a question without words. Is this okay? Should I be afraid? Can I trust this? And they're asking you specifically because in their internal world, you are the authority. You are the one who decides what is safe and what isn't. You are the one whose emotional reaction shapes their reality. That's not a companion behavior. That's not a friendship behavior. That's what a child does with a parent. Every single time. Sign 2. They bring you things when they're excited, not to play, but to share. When your dog finds something, a toy, a sock, a stick they discovered in the yard, and they run straight to you with it, what do you actually think is happening? Most owners assume their dog wants to play fetch, or they want praise, or they just want attention. But watch more carefully next time. Because a lot of the time, your dog isn't dropping the object at your feet. They're not asking you to throw it. They're just showing you, holding it, trotting toward you with their tail moving and their eyes bright, presenting it to you, and then just standing there. Researchers who study canine social behavior describe this as gifting behavior, and it maps almost perfectly on what toddlers do when they discover something new. They don't want to give it away. They just want the most important person in their world to see it, to share in the excitement, to validate that this thing they found matters. Your dog isn't trying to play with you in that moment. They're trying to connect with you. They're saying, "Look what I found. Isn't this wonderful? Aren't you proud of me?" Children do this with their parents because parents are who they turn to when joy feels too big to hold alone. Your dog does it with you for the exact same reason.
Think about the last time you had a really hard day. Not a day you talked about out loud, just a day that lived inside you quietly. Tension in your chest, a shorter fuse, a heaviness you couldn't quite explain. Did your dog act differently that day? Because here's what's happening inside your dog's body when your emotional state shifts, and this is the part that most owners find genuinely unsettling once they understand it. Dogs can smell cortisol, the stress hormone that floods your bloodstream when you're anxious, overwhelmed, or afraid. A study from Queen's University Belfast confirmed that dogs can detect human stress with remarkable accuracy through scent alone, before any visible behavioral change occurs. Before you raise your voice, before you sigh, before you even consciously register that something feels wrong, your dog already knows. And here is the part that turns this from interesting to profound. When a dog detects their primary attachment figure in distress, their own cortisol levels rise in response. Your stress becomes their stress. Your anxiety becomes their anxiety. Not because they're trained to respond that way, but because the bond between you has become so integrated that your nervous systems are, in a very real sense, connected. Neuroscientists have a term for this in human relationships. They call it physiological synchrony, and it was once thought to exist only between parents and their children. Your dog doesn't just love you, their body responds to yours. And if that doesn't tell you something about the depth of what they feel for you, nothing will. Sign 4. They comfort you in a way they never comfort anyone else. This is the one I told you about at the beginning. Pay very close attention. When you are upset, really upset, not just tired or distracted, but genuinely sad or overwhelmed, what does your dog do? Not in general, specifically to you. Because here's what research has revealed, and this is the finding that changes everything. A study from Johns Hopkins University found that dogs not only approach distressed humans, they approach them with targeted, deliberate comfort behaviors. Soft nudging, resting their head on your lap, pressing the full weight of their body against yours, licking tears from your face without being invited to. But here's the part nobody talks about. These behaviors are not random acts of affection. They are selective. They perform them most intensely and most consistently with one specific person in the household, the person they've identified as their primary attachment figure, the one they track most closely, the one whose scent they seek out during stress, the one whose absence they feel most acutely. In other words, you. When your dog rests their head on your chest when you're crying, they are not doing what dogs do. They are doing what your dog does, for you, specifically. A parent is often the only person a child will run to when they're truly hurt. Not a friend, not a sibling, the parent. Your dog has made that same unconscious designation, and they have made it about you.